Right then, so just been doing a little bit more on this valve amplifier. I've been trying to just get a little bit done, just drill a few holes every day, even if I only spend 10 minutes on it. I think what I generally do when I'm building something, I tend to get really stuck into it, spend like the entire day doing it, and sort of 14, 16 hours, and you just get fed up with it, and then it's really hard to get the motivation to go do it again, or when you've got it finished to get onto something else. And it means you end up you can start to get a bit pissed off with it, and just as you get near completion, you can end up cutting corners because you just see the goal in sight, and rather than just plodding on till you get to it, you try and just rush and get to the last bit, and you end up doing things you regret or wish you hadn't, or wish you'd done better or something. So I've just been coming up here this week before work and just doing a little bit. So all I've done last couple of nights, well, evenings, drilled the holes for the transformers, drilled the holes to mount the circuit boards to, drilled into the circuit boards, drilled the holes for the output transformers, built these up the other day. These are the tag strips, so there's one of these for each channel. That's the cathode resistors, cathode bypass capacitors, input grid resistors, and Miller compensation capacitors for each output valve. The grid resistors, the actual grid stoppers, and the screen stopper are going to sit directly onto the valve socket because that's where they're most effective. So yes, it stands at present. That is the drilling for the bottom half of the chassis done, aside from the speaker terminals. This chassis was actually a power supply. My valve amplifier I'd built about 3 years back, it had a separate power supply. This was the power supply for it. That amp had a few issues, so I decided when once the capacitors and stuff in it overheated in the actual amplifier because it ran hot, started losing their electrolyte out, and it burnt out a set of output valves. It has 8 EL84s. I decided it was going to be too much messing about to try and rehash the design, so I instead have been slowly scavenging parts out of it and upcycling them into something else. So yeah, this was its power supply. It's just a 2U rack mount style case. I think it's a company on eBay. They're called something like All Metal Products or something. They actually do very good. They do a whole variety of metal cases. They're very good. So yeah, so it's got some random, if you start moving stuff around, there's random holes from where things used to mount in it before. There's more holes under bits and bobs than there need be, but it's not a problem. So the valves themselves, obviously they're going to mount, this is the top plate for it. So power transformers are over here. I'm going to try and mount all the valve circuitry, audio circuitry, as far away from me as possible. So it's probably going to be output valves here somewhere and input stages here. So probably like the 2 channels, input valves, and then the output valves from there. So I've only got to get to, I've only got 5 valves on it because each amplifier only uses one triode on the input stage to go to the hybrid transistor stage. So I've got 1 triode to put here, and then just 4 of the output tetrodes. So yeah, that's so that's the next bit anyway. But I just thought I'd film the progress so far. I think it's more than anything else just to try and keep me motivated. If I keep just doing a little bit here and there, filming it, it sort of, spurs me on to crack on with the next bit. Like, if you're wondering how the valves mount, this is the standard 9-pin base. So you've got like you punch a hole. If you look at it sideways on, ceramic holder, it's slightly smaller. It's got a lip on it as well. I always mount them, punch the hole through the metal. So if this was the metal top, you punch a hole in it, push it through, and then this little gold ring sort of, do this with one hand, sort of goes over the top of it and screws down, holds it in place. And I see some people actually do it the other way round. They push it through from the underside and put this little gold bit upside down. So it pops through, because it will pop through like that. It's got just a little lip, so all you'll see from the top side is just a ceramic socket and not this gold clamp system it uses. But I prefer to go the other way. That way when you're pushing the socket down, you're not trying to hold it with just this flimsy piece of metal. You've got all the metal of the chassis actually under the ceramic lip. And I think, to be honest, that's probably the way it's meant to be. That's why at the end of the day they gold plated this clamp on here. They obviously did that for aesthetic reasons more than anything else. So yeah, I'm going to scavenge the sockets rather than use some new ones. Like I said, that's the old amp up there. So it's got 10 of them on it. So I've been wanting to scavenge bits out of it. So rather than use my new sockets, I shall unsolder them from that, and, you know, slowly dismantle that until it's no longer sat on the shelf up there taking up room. But anyway, yeah, so progress so far. As always, thanks for watching, and hopefully have something more for you coming soon.